for joining us on the Music in the Key of Life podcast. I'm Breeze.
And I'm your Freedom.
I'm C-Note. B3 in the house.
True. We're gonna have a discussion today on what subject were you on today, young Pino?
Yeah, it's funny that you asked about that. So we were talking about lately, about the state of the music industry, and and basically who right now, in your opinion, guys, is dominating the industry. And when I ask that question, I mean in terms of female artists and male artists.
Ooh.
That's a solid question.
Wow. Okay, I got a drink for that.
Now, there's a lot of artists out there that are definitely dominating it. I mean, what's her name? Doce? She just won a Grammy. I mean,
Is that Doja Cat?
One of the hot ones out there right now.
Oh, Doja.
yeah, Doce, she just won a Grammy.
Could be Doja, the Doja Cat.
I mean, you just had
They both got Grammys.
Beyonce, she just won a Grammy for what? Best album?
Beyonce's definitely the diva. She's definitely queen of R&B, pop. Yeah, she's definitely up there.
And you got some other artists out there too. Ella May, she's hot right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Shout out to my UK sister.
You can't forget about SZA, the SZA. She's dominating in the industry right now. You can't forget about her.
SZA, yes.
Okay.
And there's a whole lot of them out there. So in your opinion, who do you guys think is dominating? And then we got the male artists as well. Of course you can't forget about Chris Breezy, who just came out with Residuals.
For sure.
And that thing right now is hot right now. I mean, you got
Right.
that trending all online, all throughout social media.
Right.
I mean, you got, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
just
from hip hop.
on the hip hop tip.
Obviously, Drake is always
Of course,
good or bad. He's always in there.
man. Then you got, a whole bunch of artists out there,
Well,
and
you can't forget
Sure.
about the Weeknd and
I mean, for that matter, we might as well put Justin Bieber in there, man. Come on, you can never leave.
Hey, he's one of
yeah,
those.
he's
about
definitely
Bieber.
definitely one of
He's
definitely one
Can't
of
leave
those.
out JB.
Definitely one of them.
Yeah.
In my opinion, right now, man, it's just hard to really pick a side and say who's dominant right now. But I want to say really right now, it's the era of females right now.
Well, let me give you this get this knowledge to you. In the last decade, Beyoncé has 35 Grammys. Okay,
35.
35 in the last.
I'm gonna have to fact check you on that. I don't know if she got 35. Let me fact check. I'm gonna fact check that.
Well, you go ahead and fact
I'm gonna have to fact check that. I know she up there though.
Yeah,
I don't know about 35.
And I'm talking about the last decade.
I
gotta go
feel
back.
you. I feel you. I
This
said I'm
decade
just
is
gonna
10
fact
years.
check.
So that's a long period of time.
I mean, you sure you ain't talking about Taylor Swift?
I mean, when you talk about Taylor Swift, I mean,
I'm talking about the female. Taylor Swift.
she's in everything.
Shit.
I mean, she's hot just with her being with Travis Kelce alone. I mean, or should I say she made him hotter? I mean,
I was about to say,
I mean,
Travis is become a stronger name in the industry of entertainment overall, just because of her power
alone,
in the
right?
industry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah.
Is Travis a music icon? Or is
Well, no, but that just speaks the volume of her. How hot she is in the industry right now.
right?
You know what I mean? People go to Kansas City games now just to see her.
So, thanks to the power of Google, Breeze, you are right. 35 Grammys.
Yeah.
For Miss Beyonce, as well as 99 nominations.
Wow. If you say, I mean, for me, just thinking about, the top female artists and including the top male artists, I mean, that's a lot of Grammys. That's domination.
I mean, that's absolute domination, to be honest with you.
I'm pretty sure that, Taylor Swift is close right now, but that's a lot of Grammys. And that means, in a couple of years, 3 or 4 years, she was pulling down 3-4 Grammys, per year.
And when you really speak about it, although Michael's no longer with us, Michael Jackson, he only had 13 Grammy wins.
And that's the king of pop we talk about right there.
Exactly.
That's arguably the greatest entertainer of all time.
Hey, there's no argument here, brother.
Well, here's the thing about that, Benny. Here's the thing about that. People have been us as the, I can't say. Oh, well, I can't say. I'll say this. There's a lot of people coming, in this generation, who argues that, there might be some guys that might take the mantle. I mean, can I say Chris Brown?
I do respect Chris Brown as an artist. The brother's multi-talented, but yeah, let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. There's the blueprint, and there's the people that come after him. And Michael's the blueprint. I mean, if you want to say, go back to like a James Brown or something like that, then I might listen a little bit, but I ain't no Usher, no Breezy. Nah.
It's just Michael Jackson and Michael Jackson alone on top of his own mountain, just sitting there.
Yeah.
I mean, what do y'all think about that?
No, I actually, I can't really put up a strong argument with that one as far as who is the greatest entertainer of all time. That's MJ, Michael Jackson, hands down. Although he did incorporate other greats before him with his style, he still made it into his own style, and he made it into something that was dominant. And a lot of people, a lot of artists that you look at today, they're still emulating what MJ did way back then.
I mean, there will be some people that say
just like your boy Chris Brown. You can go as far as looking at the new additions. Anybody who emulated anything that was close to Michael Jackson, it had to be. You can even go and talk about NSYNC.
Yeah.
A lot of these, it doesn't even matter. I could travel around a whole different lane, but Michael Jackson, he influenced a lot of female artists and male artists. So yeah.
I mean, you're right. It's funny that you mentioned like the pop side of it, like the NSYNCs, the Britney Spears. You know what I mean?
That's all spawned from
Michael Jackson.
And that's why I say he's the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's not just him as the entertainer. It's everybody that has modeled their their style after him, the music. To me, Michael Jackson's R&B, but he was the dude that gave you the pop, the moves, the dance,
right,
and all that, even more. And like you said, he took that from James Brown, Jackie Wilson, and I mean, he's documented that. That's what he kind of derived from, So yeah, man, Michael's the truth. And I also think that when you think about the Grammys, how many extra categories has there been?
That's because of him.
It kind of makes you laugh when you think about it. When you say Michael Jackson only has 13,
right?
As great as he was, because there was so many other artists out there feel like music's been watered down a little bit, fellas? What do you think? Trill, Breeze? I mean, what do y'all think? Think the music game's been watered down a little bit?
I think the music industry is lacking music.
Okay.
Everybody keeps doing the same thing, the same pattern.
Yeah.
It's lacking. It needs a fresh breath, air, new water. That's what I would say. Just sitting there thinking about what you guys are all saying. You know, Michael Jackson made the era of music while people are and who they are today. But I feel like there's room for new.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's what the music industry is lacking of. R&B wise, it seems like rap has taken over R&B. If you listen to the radio, you hear more rap than singing. If you listen to the radio now. Commercials, video games, is rap. I don't hear too much singing anymore.
Yeah.
Chris Brown is doing his thing. I heard you guys talk about Chris Brown, Usher, or whatever. But yeah, as of right now, there'll never be another Michael Jackson, but there can be. That's what I have to say.
All right.
You never know. You never know.
Breezy, seating up, what y'all think?
It's just you know, it's weird because you look at, you know, the state of music right now, where everything is at. When you really look at it, you bring it back to the question of, you know, who's really dominating in the music industry right now. Is it the female artist or is it the male artist? Well, it's really just deep because you can go over to the hip hop lane, you know, then we go over to, you know, back to the R&B, but then you talk about country, you know. It seems to me that ever since Michael Jackson, you know, as we talk about Michael Jackson, but ever since, you know, God rest his soul, ever since he passed away, it seems like the females took over, man. It seems like the females took over in the R&B. You know, they called Michael the king of pop, but can you really say he was the king of pop? He was popular, right? He was popular, but if you really listen to the music he was singing, you remember the time, Human Nature, you know, you want to talk about the Bad album, you know, he had a little mix of rock in there, but a lot of that stuff was some R&B, man. Right. That was R&B, and everybody that was, you know, doing what MJ was doing, you know, before he passed away, you had the Neos, the Ushers, and, you know, you had the R&B groups, Boys to Men, New Edition. You know, like I said, I'll go to it again. NSYNC, even NSYNC swung over there and started doing, you know, R&B.
Yeah, NSYNC, Justin Timberlake.
You know, Justin Timberlake. All these guys, if you really think about it, Justin Timberlake wanted to do R&B. He wanted to be known as one of the great R&B entertainers because of Michael Jackson.
And that's why he went to producers like Timberland and Pharrell and Neptunes to get his production, because those guys were. A lot of you guys don't know this. I mean, Timberland was producing for, you know, people like Aaliyah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His hits were back in the 90s when he was producing, you know, R&B.
Genuine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's producing the R&B records. He wasn't really producing hip hop records. And
I mean, we're not allowed to say his name, are we? Can we say his name? The guy from Chicago. Can we say his name?
Go ahead. I'll give you.
Hey, they called him the king of R&B.
R.
Can we just say R?
Yeah.
Just leave it like that. We ain't gonna say it out.
R.
man, I'm gonna say it, man. R. Kelly. I'm gonna say it, man. R. Kelly. Don't forget all that, man. We know R. Kelly is the king of R&B. We ain't even going. I mean, that dude was writing hit after hit after hit. I mean, for everybody. I mean,
I thought we wasn't allowed to say his name.
man.
I mean, but you know, if you look at it, right? R. Kelly, he's not dominating in the music industry more because we know what happened, you know, with his situation, right? But
is that what we call it right now?
Yeah, we call it a situation, right? We want to keep it clean. We want to keep it clean.
But now R. Kelly ain't singing it no pretty nigga.
Oh no, but here's the thing.
He's singing a pretty man.
Well, yeah.
that's true.
Did y'all hear him sing the Residuals remix?
Yes, and it was hard. It was hard.
That was it. Everybody was like, their internet was on the uproar about it. They were like,
because
should we like this? Everybody, the people's reaction was crazy.
Because people was like, same thing we
Because
said.
R. Kelly,
he allowed to like this.
You know that was not no AI. That was really him.
Exactly.
And they really, I don't know how he did it and got
Right.
it.
That was the same way Tupac did it when he was in jail back in the day.
Yeah, that's been like a trend lately. Guys recording behind bars.
We all seen Empire. We seen Lucy.
Can I ask you guys a question? You guys think that R. Kelly is guilty or not?
Well, that's
I'm gonna leave that alone.
That one, we'll leave that up to you guys. You can comment that in the leave that in the comment section.
Yeah.
Do you think that R. Kelly is guilty, or you think he's not guilty?
Well, I'll say this. I think R. Kelly's guilty of being R. Kelly and making a lot of money. And
Good answer. Good
that's
answer.
what I think. I think R. Kelly's a good guy. Just think about if he wasn't R. Kelly, would he be in jail right now?
For sure.
We're talking to different women. Living his life, man.
Legit question.
I think you got a good point there, man.
I mean, you gotta think about it.
But to Zeno's point, yeah, the ladies are dominating in the music industry. But I would have to do research on this. But I want to say, if you look at
I wouldn't
country
say they're dominating, okay? I would say that there's more female artists out there as far as the rap goes. I wouldn't say that they're dominating more, but they are promoting women more.
Yeah.
But as far as dominating the game,
Well,
I do
what
not
I mean by dominating, I would say
agree.
like
Now,
on if you listen to the
who's
radio,
out more women.
like they're getting a lot of
They're
spin.
getting a lot of play. Yeah,
Right. That's what I mean by that. I
Well,
mean,
women are winning as far
I
as
agree
I'm
with that.
concerned.
I mean,
I'm with Trill on that.
I mean, I feel you. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying. But one thing I say, I think we do need to do some research on it. Maybe the comment section, y'all let us know. In the country industry, I don't think it's the case. I think the males artists are the most dominant in the country music. When I think about, and I don't even know all the guys' names, but Kenny Chesney and what's the guy's name? His last name's Jackson. Can't remember his first name. But
Come on, Alan.
yeah, Alan Jackson.
Yeah.
And those guys like that, I kind of think when you go on that side of music.
I forget the artist's name. Everybody in the bar getting tipsy.
Yeah, everybody in the bar getting tipsy.
And I also noticed that the hip hop and R&B genre is more accepting of a country music artist to come over and quote unquote do our music with us than the country genre being accepting of, like, say
Beyonce.
You've
Yeah.
seen the backlash of all these different people online when she
I
won
disagree, man.
Yeah.
Little Nas, man, he was doing the country.
Well,
And that one song.
I'm gonna take my road to the down road.
That one big, man.
You're right.
Everybody in Green Day accepted him.
You're right, but he didn't do it by himself.
He crossed over.
But he still crossed over with that.
But here's the reason.
He didn't do it by himself. Who was singing with him?
Exactly.
Beyonce done an album
By herself.
herself.
That is true.
And she wasn't accepted the same way. You know what I mean?
Until she got that Grammy on,
But especially
on the album.
especially
Cowboy Carter. Give it up for Beyonce.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, comments. Let me know. Am I lying?
she got down with that.
Well, I mean, there's definitely a double standard there. I mean, Beyonce, well, number one, she's a female, right? And, to what true artist has said, you're talking about Lil Nas X, even though he did, have somebody that was featured with him.
Yeah, he's with your boy. What's his name?
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
His father.
Her
Yeah.
father. I can't think of his name.
Billy Cyrus.
Billy Cyrus.
Billy Cyrus.
Yeah. And he's done a couple collaborations on that. That's kind of been his stick lately.
Well, that's the whole stick right now in music. When we say music in the key of life, you gotta get the full story of music. Because country and western, I can remember some black dudes that was singing R&B that went over into the country, but they still called it R&B. And that Ray Charles.
Right.
Man, he was singing.
Georgia.
Country, they called it R&B.
Georgia on my mind.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, that's country.
and it's crazy that you say that, Breeze.
Right.
Because honestly, when you think about it, you really think about it, how they categorize music. I mean, why is it that they categorize music the way they do? I mean, because to be honest with you, R&B country kind of falls under the same umbrella. Because R&B is really just telling a story. Country is really just telling a story.
That's the way it used to be.
That is the lineage of those genres. That they all told a story.
Exactly.
Well, it's all related to what I was talking about as far as, depending on who does, whatever artist, depending on who they are. And I'm going to just leave it at that. I'm not going to get real deep into it, but you guys you guys know where I'm going. Depending on who you are and what genre you're singing, whatever you're presenting to social media or to TV outlets, that'll determine what type of reception you get. So that's all. It's all related.
Yeah.
It's all related.
Absolutely.
So
Well, the reason why I say what I say about country and I'll just say R&B and country, and like B3 was saying, they're intertwined because look at Ray Charles. Look at even Aretha Franklin. I mean, Chang Chang Chang. That song was an actual country and western song, and country and western dudes was playing the music behind her, but she's supposed to be an R&B singer, right?
Right.
Then that guy came up, when a man loves a woman.
Right.
I don't know, it doesn't sound like no R&B to me.
Right.
But it was playing on all the R&B stations until, what's his name, Michael Bolton done it again.
Yeah, for sure.
Then it was pop.
Yeah.
So, music seems to fit wherever they wanted to.
Look at what he used to. Look at what he used to. I Will Always Love You. That was a Dolly Parton song. That's a country song.
Country song all the way.
But when he used to sing it was R&B.
It was R&B.
Why?
Why?
It's the same lyrics.
And Dolly, that song was great with Dolly.
Right. It was a hit with Dolly.
Here you go. But when Michael done When a Man Loves a Woman, that song blew up all over.
Right. And when Whitney sang I Will Always Love You, that played round the clock.
And that's
So here we go. Is R&B music dead?
No, it never has. It never has died. No.
But like Trill was saying, the dominant music that's being played, if you listen to the radio, hip hop, rap.
Yeah.
right.
But everything is mixed together
Yeah.
with R&B hooks.
So what I've known,
But they call it hip hop.
Yeah.
what I've noticed, so me growing up, right? We were always listening to, growing up in the 90s, listening to, Make Editions, New Edition, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Toni Braxton, Babyface. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, and there were a lot of groups back then, male, female.
Yeah. In Vogue.
And, there were
SWV.
right. There were,
Escape.
exactly. Endless.
I mean, what happened to those dudes? I mean, here's the thing I want to know. Where in the hell did they go?
Well,
They
well,
still
I mean,
tour.
here's this is the point I'm getting to. So right, so the '90s era was
Well, I want y'all to answer this question. Do y'all want to know where they went? Because if you want to know, I want y'all to comment, like, subscribe, and share this out, and come back and let us know what you think.
Let's have a conversation.
Let's have a conversation about
Leave
it.
your comments.
You know what I'm saying?
and that subscription button's going to be on the bottom, but make sure you click that button on the bottom right hand corner.
Okay? But what he was saying is, I mean, it's true. All of these artists, I mean, it was a mountain of them. Ain't that right, Trent?
Yep.
I mean, everywhere you went, baby, don't stop. Baby, don't stop.
Definitely was a lot of begging on the radio.
Yeah.
Cause tonight, baby,
Oh yeah.
I wanna get freaky, freaky. And then,
Oh yeah.
I wanna tell you.
I wanna play you out.
Hey,
You can't get about.
you can't sweat.
Oh, ain't nobody
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm falling love to die. You can't get about kids, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, don't be telling me that it's wrong.
Gerald Levert. I mean,
Hey,
you can't forget the legend.
Jill Levert, Luther Vandross.
Luther, how do we forget Luther? Can't forget Luther.
But if y'all still like that kind of music, I want y'all to let us know if we should have more of that music, or we should just let it fall by the wayside because the radio's playing something else. Y'all comment, y'all share, y'all like, y'all subscribe, tell somebody, maybe tell us. Come on and join in the conversation with music and the Q&A.